The sky over the city was a dull smear of gray, the kind that made everything feel slower and heavier. Raindrops trickled steadily down the foggy windows of Rosie's diner, painting streaks that blurred the outside world into a watercolor mess of red tail lights and drenched umbrellas. Inside, the warm hum of a coffee machine and soft 70s jazz filled the air, cutting the chill that came every time the door opened. Maya wiped her hands on her apron and sighed. Another long shift, another rainy morning. She was only 22, but already her shoulders carried more than most. Her mother was gone, her father had vanished years ago, and she was juggling 2 jobs and night classes just to keep her nursing dream alive. Coffee and tips were her currency now, and sometimes, even those weren't enough. She moved between booths with practiced ease, refilling mugs and offering tired smiles to regulars. But when the bell above the door jingled again, something made her glance up from the order pad. A man stepped inside, dripping wet, holding a little girl on his hip. The girl was bundled in a too thin pink jacket and clutching a stuffed bunny with matted ears. Her shoes were soaked, and her cheeks were flushed red from the cold. The man looked worse, unkempt beard, deep shadows under his eyes, and clothes that had seen too many rainy nights. They slid into the last booth by the window, far from the crowd. Maya's heart tugged a little as she watched the man brush water from the girl's hair and whisper something to make her smile. There was no anger in his expression, just exhaustion wrapped in tenderness. She approached with a gentle voice, trying not to make them feel out of place. "Hi there. Welcome to Rosie's. Can I get you folks started with something hot? Coffee, cocoa?" The man glanced at the menu, then shook his head slowly. Just water, please. We're not ready to order yet." Maya nodded but didn't walk away. The man's hands were trembling slightly, and his eyes, blue but clouded with pain, avoided hers. She could tell what this was. She'd seen it before, people too proud to ask for help, but too broke to buy breakfast. She leaned in, lowering her voice. "Look, I've had rough days too. How about I get you a hot cup of coffee? Just this one, no charge. You look like you need it." He hesitated, his lips parting slightly in surprise. "Really? That's kind of you. I'll be back in a second," she said with a wink, turning before he could refuse. She poured a fresh cup of coffee, added a splash of cream, and set it gently on the table. The man wrapped his hands around the mug like it was gold. The little girl was staring across the room at a kid her age digging into a plate of pancakes with strawberries and whipped cream. Her bunny drooped lower in her lap. Maya's heart ached again. She walked to the counter, broke a muffin in half, and slipped it into a napkin. Then she grabbed a few crayons and a kid's coloring menu from under the register. Returning to the table, she knelt beside the girl. "Hey, sweetheart," she said softly, "we've got a rule here, every artist gets free crayons. Think you can help me decorate one of these menus?" The girl smiled shyly and nodded. Maya handed over the crayons and then, almost casually, placed the half muffin in front of her. "You'll need energy if you're going to color the whole thing." The man looked up again. His eyes were glossy now, his voice almost a whisper. "Thank you. I don't know what to say." Maya smiled warmly. "You don't have to say anything. Just warm up, okay?" She didn't press them further. No questions, no pity, just small, quiet gestures to remind them they mattered. For the next 20 minutes, Maya kept checking in between other tables. The girl was now drawing a giant bunny spaceship. The man sipped his coffee slowly, a little color returning to his cheeks. The rain outside continued to fall, unnoticed by the 2 people in the corner booth and the waitress who had made their morning a little warmer. Sometimes, kindness isn't loud. It's not fireworks or grand speeches. Sometimes, it's just a warm cup of coffee and a smile at the right moment, offered by someone who knows how cold the world can be. And that morning, in a quiet diner on 9th Street, Maya offered both. The hum of the diner settled into a slow rhythm after the breakfast rush died down. Customers came and went, but Maya kept glancing at the corner booth. The man and his daughter had been quiet for a while, too quiet, and now, they were gone. She frowned. She hadn't seen them leave. No footsteps, no bell above the door jingling, no goodbye. Maya walked over, half expecting to find the crayons still scattered or the little girl's bunny left behind. But the booth was spotless, except for a single white napkin, folded and left under the empty coffee cup. She picked it up slowly. It read, in clear but shaky handwriting, "Thank you. You reminded me that kindness still exists." Her fingers tightened slightly as her eyes dropped to what was underneath the napkin, a crisp $100 bill. She gasped quietly. They hadn't eaten anything. No pancakes, no eggs, just the coffee she offered and the muffin she slipped over. Yet here it was, a gesture so unexpected that she stood frozen for a moment, unsure whether to feel grateful, guilty, or curious. Claire, the other waitress, noticed her standing still. "Hey, everything okay?" "They're gone," Maya said softly. "But they left this." Claire leaned over, eyes widening at the sight of the cash. "Whoa, he looked like he didn't have a dollar to his name." "I know," Maya replied, folding the napkin carefully. "I thought they might be living in their car." Claire shrugged. Maybe he just wanted to pay it forward. But Maya couldn't shake the feeling that something was different. That man's eyes weren't just tired, they were burdened. Not just from poverty, but from grief. She had seen it in patients' families at the hospital during her nursing internship, people who had lost more than they could explain. That evening, while walking home, Maya kept thinking about the little girl's smile. The way she'd held onto her bunny like it was the only thing she owned. Maya had known that feeling as a child, holding onto something soft when the world felt cold and uncertain. The napkin note stayed in her pocket all day. She read it twice more before going to sleep. By morning, she had accepted it for what it was, a kind stranger passing through. A moment of human connection. That was enough. Until it wasn't. The next day, just before her shift started, a black SUV pulled up outside the diner. It gleamed beneath the now clear sky, far too polished for this part of town. Maya watched from behind the counter, half curious, half suspicious, until the back door opened. Her breath caught. The same man stepped out, but this time, he looked nothing like before. His unkempt beard was trimmed, his hair combed neatly, and he wore a well-fitted charcoal suit that spoke of quiet wealth. The little girl walked beside him, dressed in a brand new pink coat and shiny black shoes. Her bunny was still tucked in her arms, but even it looked cleaner. They stepped into the diner as if walking into a different world. Maya's heart pounded. The transformation was staggering. He approached her slowly, a gentle smile on his face. "I hope I'm not intruding." She blinked. "No, not at all. I wasn't sure I'd ever see you again." "I wasn't sure either," he said, voice sincere. "But after we left, I couldn't stop thinking about what you did for us. You didn't just give me coffee, you gave me something I hadn't felt in a long time. Dignity." Maya swallowed the lump forming in her throat. "My name is Daniel Hart," he continued. "I built hardcore systems. I stepped away from it 6 months ago after my wife passed away. I broke down, left everything. I thought I could handle being alone with my daughter, but I was wrong. I was lost." He looked at her, eyes clear now. "But something changed that morning. You didn't judge me, you saw me, you helped us like we were worth helping." He reached into his coat and pulled out a small white envelope, placing it gently on the counter. "I've gone back to my company. I'm starting a new branch, a foundation to support single parents and families in crisis. But I need someone at the heart of it. Someone with compassion and strength. Someone like you." Maya stared at him, stunned. Daniel smiled. "You gave us kindness when we had nothing. Let me give you a future when you least expected it."